The air on Earth didn't just smell rotten, it burned. Kale pressed his scarf tighter over his nose, the fabric scratchy and damp with sweat. He moved like a ghost through the skeleton of a place called a mall, his boots crunching over broken glass and bones. The walls were spray painted with words like "the end is delicious and we deserved this." His little sister, Lynn, was back in their shelter, shivering under a pile of moldy blankets. Her fever had spiked after drinking from a poisoned stream. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Kale cursed himself. He'd known the water was bad, but hunger and thirst made you reckless. A rattling noise made him freeze. Raiders. He ducked behind a collapsed shelf as three figures stalked past, their faces hidden behind gas masks made of soda cans and duct tape. One dragged a chain hooked to a human skull. They laughed, kicking debris like kids at a playground. "Fresh meat'll be here soon," one growled. "Saw tracks by the river." Kale's throat tightened. The river. Lynn. When the raiders vanished, he crept deeper into the ruins. His flashlight flickered, its battery dying. Shadows danced on the walls, shaped like monsters. Or maybe they were monsters. Then he saw it, a faded green sign with a white cross. Pharmacy. The door was rusted shut. Kale jammed his crowbar into the gap, muscles straining. With a screech, it gave way. Inside, shelves lay toppled, pills scattered like confetti. He stuffed his bag with antibiotics, painkillers, anything labeled for infection. "That's mine," a voice hissed. Kale spun. A raider stood in the doorway, a jagged knife gleaming. Behind him, two more. "Take it," Kale said, backing up. "Just leave me one bottle." The raider smirked. "Or I'll take you too. Meat's scarce these days." Kale's hand flew to his knife, but before he could move, a thunk cut the air. The raider crumpled. An arrow stuck out of his neck. "Rule 1, kid," a woman said, stepping from the shadows. She was old, her face a roadmap of scars, a crossbow slung over her shoulder. "Adapt or die. Now grab your loot and move." Her name was Mara. She'd survived the collapse by being meaner than the acid rain and twice as sharp. That night, she taught Kale how to trap rats, aim for the neck, filter water with charcoal and socks, and spot raider ambushes. "They're lazy. Look for the dumbest path." "You're soft," Mara said as Kale bandaged a cut on her arm. "But soft ain't weak, just means you still care." Kale glanced at the photo in his pocket, Lynn, age 10, grinning with a missing tooth. "Before, I have a sister." Mara's eyes turned distant. "Had a boy once. Smart, like you. Thought he could save everyone." "What happened?" "Riots. He ran back to save his teacher." She poked the fire with a stick. "Got trampled. Adapt or die isn't a choice. It's a threat." Days later, raiders found their camp. Mara shoved Kale into a drainage pipe. "Stay silent." He heard her crossbow snap, then screams. When he crawled out, she was gone. Only her knife remained, stabbed into the dirt like a grave marker. Kale ran all night, the medicine heavy in his pack. When he reached the shelter, Lynn's breaths were shallow. He crushed the pills, mixing them with the last clean water. "Please," he whispered, trickling the liquid into her mouth. By dawn, her fever broke. Above them, strange silver lights flickered in the sky. Closer now, the Galactic Council chamber was a kaleidoscope of holograms and alien murmurs. Counselor Vraxis, an insectoid creature with iridescent claws, tapped impatiently at his screen. "Why are we wasting time on this graveyard?" Dr. Lyra, a squid-like scientist with bioluminescent tentacles, zoomed in on Earth's surface. "Because they're alive. No species has ever survived a Class 12 apocalypse. Their biosphere collapsed centuries faster than predicted, yet they're still savages," Vraxis interrupted. "Look, they're eating each other." The hologram showed raiders battling over a carcass. "That's one group," Lyra argued. "Others are farming, building, even laughing. Watch this." She played a clip from an old satellite feed. Humans dancing around a fire, singing off-key. A child blew bubbles from soap scraps. The council buzzed with confusion. "What is this ritual?" asked a gelatinous orb-like alien. "It's called a birthday party," Lyra said. "They celebrate surviving another year." Vraxis sneered. "Sentimental nonsense. Focus on real threats, like the Deltix hive." Suddenly, alarms blared. A technician shouted, "Ships leaving Earth's orbit." The hologram switched to a clunky vessel welded from scrap metal and solar panels. It sputtered into space, trailing smoke. Impossible, Vraxis hissed. Their tech is primitive. Lyra leaned forward, fascinated. They're not just surviving, they're escaping. Zeta 9 wasn't a planet. It was a punishment. The desert stretched endlessly, red sand stinging the colonists' faces. The sun burned orange, and the air tasted like burnt hair. But to Kale, now 20 and lean as a knife, it was home. Or close enough. Water recyclers busted again, Jax yelled, kicking the machine. Toxic sludge oozed out. We're drinking sand soup by Friday. Kale sighed. Use the backup. Backup is the backup. The colony, New Haven, was a patchwork of scavenged tech, car doors as fences, engine parts as stoves, and a shield made from a satellite dish. It shouldn't have worked, but it did, mostly. That night, Kale found Rio, the colony's farmer, burying something in the ashy soil. What are you doing? He asked. She held up a wrinkled seed. Apple tree. From Earth. It'll never grow here. Yeah? Tell that to the algae in my pea tank. She winked. I'll make this dirt beg for life. Kale smiled. Rio's stubborn hope reminded him of Lynn. As he fixed a broken generator, a memory flashed, Lynn's hand slipping from his. I wasn't fast enough. He shoved it down. Later, Tag, the colony's ex-soldier, tossed him a canteen. Stranger. East Ridge. A figure trudged toward camp. The colonists gripped tools like weapons. Stay sharp, Kale said, palm on Mara's knife. The stranger collapsed, hood falling back to reveal sunburned skin and wild gray hair. Water, please. Jax glared. Where'd you come from? Crashed cargo ship. Please. Kale handed her a canteen. I'm Kale. The woman gulped greedily. Lyra. The Galactic Council's ship descended like a steel hurricane, its engines screaming as it carved a crater into Zeta 9's red sand. Kale shielded his eyes from the stinging dust, his heart pounding. The colonists gathered behind him, clutching tools as weapons. A ramp lowered with a hiss, and out marched Inspector Vrel, a spindly alien with too many joints, his silver suit gleaming like a fresh scar. Behind him floated drones, their red sensors blinking like hungry eyes. Humans of Zeta 9, Vrel droned, his voice translated through a collar. By order of the Galactic Council, you are hereby subjected to the survivor tax. Comply, or be erased. Tax? Jax muttered. We've got no money. Not currency, Vrel snapped. Proof. Prove your species will not infest the galaxy with your chaos. The drones zipped forward, scanning the colony. Vrel sneered at the shield generator, a mash of satellite dishes and engine parts. This violates Code 889. Radiation levels are lethal. Kale stepped forward, his shadow stretching across the sand. It works. Your insolence is noted. Vrel flicked a claw, and the drones beeped. First test, construct a radiation buffer. You have 1 hour. The colonists scrambled. Buffer's just a wall, right? Jax said, welding 2 junked cars together. Stack anything metal. Rio dragged over a cracked solar panel. What about glue? My algae vats spit out this sticky gunk. Perfect. Kale shoved the panel onto the pile. Slap it on. They coated the wall with green sludge, their hands burning from the chemicals. The drones scanned it, beeping reluctantly. Buffer. Adequate, Vrel hissed, eyeing the dripping glue. Next test, language proficiency. Speak Galactic Standard. Test 2, the words. Kale froze. None of them knew alien languages. Then Rio grinned. Teach him our words. She sauntered up to Vrel. Repeat after me, bruh. Bridge, Vrel's translator stuttered. Good. Now, yeet, means throw. Glizzy, is, hot dog. Important stuff. Vrel's claws twitched. This is nonsense. Nah, it's human, Jack said, tossing a wrench. Yeet. The inspector ducked. Cease this. Test passed. Kale shouted. You're speaking human now. Final test, Vrel spat. Medical facilities. Jax panicked. They had no hospital. Just a broom closet full of rags. Follow my lead, Tag grunted. He kicked open the closet, draped a tarp over a bucket, and slapped a toy stethoscope on his neck. Welcome to ICU. Kale laid down on the tarp. Doc, my leg's busted. Tag shone a flashlight in his eyes. Take 2 aspirin. Don't die. Vrel's antennae quivered. This is a joke. Nope. Human medicine. Jax slapped a band-aid on the inspector's claw. You're healed. Go away. The drones beeped, confused but green. Vrel snarled. You, pass. For now. That night, Lyra hunched in her tent, her tentacles coiled tight. The council's message burned on her wrist: terminate observation. Return. She'd hacked the drones to fake the test results. Why? Outside, the humans laughed around a fire, roasting cactus skewers. Kale tossed Jax a burnt scrap. Yeet. Glizzy. Jax yelled back. Lyra's translator couldn't explain the warmth in her chest. But for the first time in centuries, she smiled. The storm hit at midnight. It wasn't just wind and sand. Purple lightning split the sky, and the air crackled with static that made Kale's hair stand on end. The colonists' shield generator sparked, then died with a sad pop. Get to the caves, Kale roared, dragging two kids by their arms as the first wave of radioactive grit blasted the camp. Tents ripped free, tumbling into the darkness like ghosts. Jax slammed a metal sheet over the water recycler. We'll lose the tanks. Let it go. Kale shoved her toward the tunnels. Move. The colonists stampeded underground, coughing and clutching each other. But as Kale did a head count, his stomach dropped. Where's Tag? Rio pointed outside. He ran back for the apple sapling. Kale cursed. The scraggly tree was Rio's pride, a twig she'd nursed in toxic soil. Of course Tag would risk his life for it. Stay here, Kale ordered, tying a rag over his face. You'll die, Jax yelled. Rule 1. Kale shouted back, vanishing into the storm. Outside, the world was chaos. Sand burned like fire, and Kale's goggles fogged instantly. He crawled toward the greenhouse, where Tag's flashlight swung wildly in the dark. Tag, leave it, but Tag didn't hear. He hunched over the sapling, shielding it with his body as the roof caved in. A lightning bolt struck nearby, and a metal beam tore loose, swinging toward Tag. Look out, Kale lunged, tackling him aside. The beam grazed Kale's leg, searing through his pants. He screamed. Tag dragged him into a corner. You idiot, says the guy dying for a twig. Tag's scarred face twisted. It's not about the tree. It's about hope. You wouldn't get it. Kale stared. Tag never talked about his past. I was a soldier, Tag growled, tying a tourniquet around Kale's leg. Fought in the oil wars. Burned cities. Killed kids. His voice cracked. This tree, it's the first thing I've built that ain't a weapon. Before Kale could reply, a shriek cut through the storm. A small figure stumbled toward them. Nico, the colony's youngest scavenger, trapped under debris. Help! Tag didn't hesitate. He sprinted into the storm, heaving the rubble off Nico. Go! He yelled at Kale. Take her! Kale limped forward, but a fresh wave of sand blinded him. Tag! Tag! When the dust cleared, Tag was gone. Only his flashlight remained, flickering under the wreckage. Back in the caves, Kale collapsed, his leg bleeding and burnt. Dr. Lyra rushed over, her tentacles flaring. You need antibiotics. Forget me. Fix the shield. I can't. The coolant system's destroyed. Kale grabbed her arm. You're a scientist. Think. Lyra trembled. The water recycler, its pipes hold liquid nitrogen. If we reroute it, do it, but it'll explode. Kale struggled to stand. Then we'll adapt. The storm raged louder as Kale and Lyra crawled to the recycler. Lyra's tentacles worked furiously, splicing wires. You'll die if this fails, she warned. We'll die if it doesn't. Kale jammed the coolant pipe into the shield generator. The machine whined, then roared to life, a shimmering dome pushing back the storm. But the pipe burst, spraying liquid nitrogen. Kale shoved Lyra aside, taking the full blast on his chest. He woke hours later, his leg bandaged and his skin mottled with frostbite. Dr. Lyra hovered nearby, her disguise melted to reveal her squid-like form. The colonists stared, silent. Jax raised a wrench. You lied to us. Wait, Kale croaked. She saved us. She's one of them. Lyra curled inward. I'm sorry. The council sent me to spy. But you're not what they said. You're better. Rio stepped forward, holding the apple sapling, its leaves scorched but alive. You helped save this. That's good enough for me. Nico hugged Lyra's tentacle. You're weird, but nice. Later, Lyra showed Kale a hologram from the council. Vraxis sneered. Your colony is a joke. Surrender or be erased. Kale's fists clenched. We don't surrender. They'll attack at dawn, Lyra whispered. Kale limped to the cave entrance, staring at the stars. Then we'll fight. With everything we've got. Somewhere in the darkness, Tag's flashlight still flickered. The sky turned black as the Galactic Council's warships arrived. Their engines roared like angry monsters. Kale stood in front of the colony, his leg wrapped in dirty bandages. He shouted to the scared colonists, "We don't fight fair. We fight human." Jax revved the engine of a broken rover. "Let's yeet these space jerks." The aliens shot first. Blue lasers burned the sand, leaving giant holes. But the humans fought back with junk. They used old engines to blast radioactive dust at the ships. The dust clogged the alien vents, making 2 ships crash into the desert. "Keep going," Rio yelled. She flipped a switch, and metal towers sucked down purple lightning from the storm. The lightning zapped the warships, frying their shields. The aliens fell for fake campfires too. Holograms of humans dancing around fires tricked the warships into flying over quicksand pits. 3 ships sank into the sand, their crews screaming. But more ships kept coming. A laser blew up the colony's fence. Kale ducked as metal shards flew past his head. "Fall back, now," he ordered. Inside a ripped tent, Dr. Lyra worked fast. Her tentacles typed on a broken keyboard. "I can hack their broadcasts, just need time." "Buy her time," Kale shouted to Jax. Jax grinned and drove her rover straight at the biggest ship. She threw homemade bombs like baseballs. "Tag taught me this," she yelled. A laser missed her by inches. Suddenly, screens across the galaxy flickered. Kale's face appeared, bruised but brave. "You think we're monsters? Fine, but we're the monsters who save people." The video showed humans dragging hurt aliens from crashed ships. It showed Miko sharing water with a shaking soldier. It showed Rio's tiny apple tree, still alive in the toxic soil. "You taxed our survival? Then pay up, in hope." Rebel ships answered the call. Miners in armored drills, healers on crystal whales, and pirates singing loud songs charged at the council. For Tag, Jax screamed, launching her rover like a missile. It smashed into a warship, exploding in a ball of fire. The battle turned. Alien rebels crashed into the council's fleet. Lasers lit up the sky like fireworks. Vraxis's ship shook as rebels broke in. "Traitor," he hissed at Dr. Lyra's hologram. "No," she said. "Student." The screen changed to humans and aliens laughing around a campfire, roasting sticky treats called s'mores. By sunset, the council fled. The colonists cheered, hugging their new alien friends. Kale found Tag's broken flashlight in the sand. He pocketed it and whispered, "We did it, buddy." Weeks later, New Haven buzzed with life. Aliens and humans fixed shields and planted gardens. Dr. Lyra nibbled a Pop-Tart beside Kale. "Still tastes weird," she said, laughing. Miko raced past, riding on a miner's shoulders. "Faster." Kale unfolded Lynn's old drawing of Earth. The paper was torn, but her words still shone, "Wish big." He smiled. Somewhere out there, humanity would survive. Not by destroying, by staying human.